into Clerk. So we see here the application, and it looks a bit different than what he has there. But let's quickly see how to do this. So probably we just have to add an application.
There we go. Now you're going to see a screen similar to this. And now it's time to name our application. So I'm going to use AI SaaS for this, right?
So I don't know, how did we call this? My app? I forgot how we called the app. Yeah, my app. So let's just call it my app.
Here. And you can play around and add as many providers as you want. But for now, I'm only going to enable Google and email app.
Okay, it says basically show 19 more, so we can add more here of how we want to sign up. So I would say, okay, we can probably Slack, Dropbox, Microsoft. Let's do Microsoft, Google, and email address.
But feel free to enable as many of this if you want to play around. Clerk is truly amazing when it comes to how easy it is to build with it. Now let's go ahead and click Create Application right here.
Okay, now it says Create Application, so let's do that. Okay, interesting.
Now you can see that we have a documentation to how to start implementing this in our app. So right here we have .environment.local right here that we have to copy and put in our environment file. This file is going to hold our secrets, which Clerk library is going to use to enable authentication in our project. So go ahead and click the copy.
Okay, so what we have to do is copy this one.
Right here, go ahead back inside of your project, and I want to create a new file.
Okay, then we have to go to our project.
Instead of .environment.local, I'm going to use .in.
Okay, then we have within the public, we have to create, or we just have to create. No, this is not within the public, this is just within the app. And we have to create a new file.
This is
.env. So .env that's the problem we have. Cancel .env, we delete that. And we somehow need to bring I don't know how to. So let's close this. So we have next, we have app, we have components, we have public, but it just should be one of these things here. And I just don't know how to see. It always goes below the dashboard. So let's ask ChatGPT. Hi there, in Visual Studio Code, I want to create a new file within a project folder, but it highlights one of the pages, and when I create a new file, it ends up within one of the folders, but I want to have it directly within the project and not within an additional folder. How can I create such a file? It sounds like a really, really basic question, but at the same time, I think it's a question that, yeah. Okay, so we create a new file. Okay, right click on the Explorer pane. So maybe we have to go, let's see here. File. No, that's also not working. We have to say, how do I find the Explorer pane? Okay, on the sidebar on the left-hand side, look for an icon that looks like to document for a file tree. Ah. Yeah, but that's what we have, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just try this again. Okay, .env. And now let's just okay. See, now it works. So I moved it down there. So apparently now this works. So we have the environment in there. We have to go back to Clerk.
Because we're going to need .environment for Prisma. So go ahead and just paste that inside.
Okay, so apparently what we have to do is just copy this whole thing and paste this whole thing in there.
So make sure you have the next public Clerk publishable key and Clerk secret key. Basically, what is written in this documentation right here. And make sure you save your .environment file.
Okay, fail, save.
Great. And now, just make sure that Next.js is selected right here. And we're going to click Continue in Docs. And what?
Continue in Docs. That's apparently what it says.
I love about Clerk is that they have support for the app router. That gives me confidence that it's going to work in this project. And I already used Clerk in my last e-commerce project. And if you saw that, then you know how easy it is to implement Clerk and what amazing UI components it offers. They are beautifully designed and they fit almost every single project. So let's continue and let's follow this documentation and see exactly what we have to build. So first, it's telling us to install Clerk Next.js. So I'm going.
Okay, so now it asks us to install this thingy. So we have to copy this.
Copy that, and I'm going to go inside of my terminal.
Okay, we need to go into the terminal.
And I'm going to install that package. So let's go ahead and write npm install.
Okay. No, not over there. That's different. Yeah, that's not good. Let's see. We have to go back here. Edit, undo. This, edit, undo. Yeah, okay. So we basically have to put this whole thing in there. npm, I just write this now. Install at Clerk /next.js.
At Clerk /next.js like this. And after a couple of seconds, our package is going to be installed. Great. Now let's continue and follow.
Okay, so that's working now. We had to. Okay.
What the documentation is telling us to do. So it's telling us to set our environment keys, but that is something we already done. So we have them right here. So we can skip that and go to the next step, which is mount the Clerk.
Okay, so it basically says we already set our environment keys. So we don't need to do this further. So we can go to this here, wrap your app in Clerk provider. That actually looks a tiny bit different than in the video, to be honest.
Provider. And this is what I was talking about. So if you're using Pages for any reason, you can just click Pages and follow that. But we are using the app routers.
Here, app router. Okay, basically it says update your root layout, but I think it's root layout, right? App router, no, we are here, app router. So that's the Pages router and that's the app router. Okay, now that makes sense. And import, it looks a tiny bit different, but it says import Clerk provider from Clerk Next.js and then export constant. Yeah, it looks a bit different, but let's see.
Make sure you're following the documentation for the app router. So what we have to do is we have to import Clerk provider from @Clerk Next.js. So I'm going to close the terminal for now, and I'm going to go back inside of my
Okay, so he says, going back to the app here,
folder inside layout.
To the layout.
Sex right here, because that is the component they are looking at here. So let's go ahead and copy this line.
Okay, and he says we need to, this thingy here, we need to copy that.
And let's go ahead and import it right here.
And we need to import this global CSS. He doesn't have that. Global CSS, so, oh no, he has this, but on the top, so we can just import this here.
There we go. Clerk provider from @Clerk/Next.js. And what we have to do now is we have to wrap our entire application inside of that Clerk provider.
Okay, so he says we have to wrap the whole thing inside Clerk provider.
Let's go ahead and write Clerk provider.
So he says we turn this thingy here, HTML lang, so we do this here, and we put Clerk provider.
Like this.
Like this.
And at the end, like that.
Okay, so we have the Clerk provider there. I copy that. I put this out, and I put after the HTML, and before this thingy, I put this here.
I just want to indent everything inside.
Okay, so it says Clerk, and then I need to indent that.
Beautiful. And now let's go ahead and add.
Okay, then it says that's done.
Our middleware file. So
now it's middleware file. Okay, that makes sense.
Go to your sidebar right here. I'm going to close everything again. Make sure you're at the root and just create a new file.
Okay, now we need to be closing everything. So, new file.
Called middleware.ts.
Okay, now that's called .ts.
And go ahead and copy this
Okay, now we need to apparently copy that.
File from the documentation and just paste.
And paste it in here.
Here. There we go. Beautiful. And now what we have to do.
Okay, file save. I'm not sure if I would ever be able to retrace this, but we make a video, right? So we can do that.
We have to create our sign up and our sign in page, and they have the exact steps to do that right here. So let's go ahead.
Okay, now we need to create sign up and sign in pages. So that's what we apparently do now. So probably we have to create those app roots and then put there the pages and then.
Inside of our app folder.
Okay, we go in app.
And let's go ahead and create a new folder.
Okay, app, new folder.
I'm going to go ahead and create another route group here called auth.
Okay, he calls this auth. So probably for authentication.
Yes. Beautiful. And inside, I'm going to create another folder.
New folder.
Called routes.
Okay, so here now he puts routes again.
We're going to have two routes, the sign up and the sign in, and I'm also going to add a layout inside. So let's go ahead and create a new folder.
Okay, so it says routes, new folder.
Out of this route group routes, and we're going to call this sign-up.
Okay, so the first one is sign up.
That. And then inside of that, we have to create another folder.
Okay, then here, a new folder.
Go ahead and open square bracket.
Okay, that's going to be interesting. So open square brackets, apparently.
Then again, open square brackets in.
I really don't know. So apparently it's like two open square brackets and then two closing square brackets.
So double square brackets, this is another Next 13 convention that allows Clerk to have all the necessary routes it needs for authentication. And inside, you're going to spread using.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Dots, sign dash.
Okay, sign dash.
Up.
Up.
That. And then go ahead and create a new file.
Okay, now we create a new file
called page.tsx.
Okay, and now page.tsx. So apparently the sign up with the curly, not with the double brackets, is something that was special for Clerk.
There we go, just like that. And then you can go ahead and copy this example.
Okay, so now we go down. Embed the user button. No, we have not done that. So we did the middleware, embed the button. Pages router, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, create custom signup. So we open this in a new page. Build your signup page. So this is the signup. So let's copy this and put this in here. Let's see if this matches what he says as well. So import signup from Clerk, export default function page, return signup. So that's kind of what we want to have here.
And paste it inside. Beautiful. So it's that simple to create a sign-up page. Great. And we have to do the same thing for the sign-in. So you can just copy this entire folder, paste it inside routes.
Okay. So sign up folder, copy, paste. Sign up copy.
So now you have sign-up and sign-up copy. Just rename this to.
So we name this sign in.
Sign in like this, and inside.
Okay, and then we need to rename and then sign in. And then we have a page here as well.
Don't forget to rename this folder as well, like this, -sign in. Beautiful. Go inside of that page.tsx, and you can go ahead.
Okay, and now we need page, sign in page, copy that. So we would use this one and we put this one in.
copy this example and paste it right here. I'm having an error here, but that is because of my Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to press Command, Shift, and P. And
okay, so now Command, Shift, P.
I'm going to write reload window.
And then reload window.
And I'm going to press Enter.
Interesting. So you said like Command plus Shift plus Enter. And then this, I think, reload something, right? And then basically now it refreshes.
So this has refreshed my Visual Studio Code because sometimes cache gets in the way and shows us errors that aren't actually there. You can see that now everything works just fine. So let me show you the exact layout right here. So I created a new
Okay, so the layout now is we have this auth folder
called out, which is a route group, meaning it will not affect the URL. Inside, I created
then we have the roots.
another folder called routes, again in parentheses, so not affecting the URL. And then we have the sign in and the sign up with a special convention folder inside of it, so it has all the necessary routes for Clerk. There we go. That's how easy it was to add our sign in and sign up pages. And now what we have to do is add some more environment variables.
Okay, now it says additional environment variables.
Clerk knows where to redirect us after we log in, or where to go in general for sign in and sign up. So go to this section called Update Your Environment Variables, and I'm just going to copy this right here. I'm going to go back in my .environment file.
Okay, so we had to copy this. Then we go to .env file.
And after this two, I'm going to paste this.
Okay, now we have to paste them in here.
So make sure you have the sign in URL, sign up URL, after sign in URL, and after sign up URL. And one thing I want to change immediately is that after we log in, where do we want to be redirected? Let's take a look. So we said that our landing page is going to be unprotected, but our dashboard page is going to be protected. So obviously what I want to do in my environment file is that after user has logged in, I want to redirect to /dashboard.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we want to, like here, next public after sign in URL, they should go to the dashboard. And the same is true after they sign up, they should go to the dashboard.
Like that. We don't want our user to stay on the landing page. Beautiful. How do we know that this is /sign in and that this is /sign up? And can we change it? Of course we can, but it has to match exactly what you write in your out folder. So if you want to change this to login, you can do that, but make sure you change the ... login as well. If you want to change this to register, you can do that as well, and make sure you change that. And it has to match these two environment variables. If you're following these tutorials, you don't have to do anything like that. Just follow along. Beautiful. And now I'm going to show you a really cool thing. I want to go back inside of...
Okay, now we have to go back to the app.
Middleware. So go inside middleware.
Go into middleware, apparently.
.ts. And I'm going to show you...
Okay, export before we have to put something in the middle here.
Easy it is to add a public route. So right now, all of our routes are protected, but I want to add public routes like this.
Okay, you want to add public routes, whatever that is, actually.
And I just want to give it a...
Okay, that's going to be interesting. So this has to go into those brackets, and then these, and then this.
Flash, meaning our landing page is now unprotected, meaning that both logged in and...
Okay, so basically what we did now is that now our landing page, which is like the slash without, like a root page, I think, is like unprotected. So that's a public root.
Logged out users can visit it. So let's go ahead and let's run our application.
So now, file, save, we go back to the terminal.
See how that looks right now. So I'm going to go ahead and write npm run.
So it says again npm run dev.
again, and I'm gonna go and visit my localhost 3000, and I should be able to normally visit the landing page. There we go. But
okay, so what happens now is when we go back to our app and we go to our landing page, we should see it because it's unprotected. I think it just takes a tiny bit of time. Not a quick localhost, apparently. Ah, here, landing page unprotected.
I go to /dashboard. What's going to happen is that I'm redirected.
Nice. Now I show you dashboard. Oh, that didn't work out. Let's go back. /dashboard. Oh no, not that way. And we have to sign in. So sign in to continue to my app, continue with Google, continue with Microsoft, email address, and continue. And in that way, we have it protected. It has a really interesting, how do you say, a very interesting here root, but maybe we can change that later.
To sign in right here. Beautiful. So it fully works. What I want to do now is I want to center this so it's not right here in the corner. So let's go ahead and do that now. In order to do that, we're going to have to go back inside of our app folder, inside of our out right here. I'm going to close the...
Okay, so now he want to do some design work, which is interesting because with him, the sign in button is basically here in the left upper corner, but for me apparently not. But what I find interesting is this thing is like a really weird domain, like robust mosquito 99.accounts.dev sounds really weird, but I guess we can change that later. But this is like, yeah, but at least it works to some extent. So for it didn't put weird. Yeah, let's see. So I think now you want to change the design. I mean, the designs for... No, that's wrong. Why is it not working? Do I do? No, it should work. We just made some spelling mistakes.
And inside of the...
Okay, so we go to auth.
out folder, create a new file.
Okay, new file.
Called layout.tsx.
Okay, now layout.tsx.
Like this. Go ahead and write.
Okay, now apparently we have again constant.
Auth layout.
Okay, auth layout, and then again these like X thingy, and then these curly brackets. Then we have return these brackets. We have to close this, and we have export default auth layout, and then now within these brackets, let's see what we want.
Like this, and it's going to accept children.
Oh, we're not ready yet. So we have these, and then we have like curly brackets here, and then it puts children.
And those children.
Okay.
Have a type.
Okay, and the children have whatever a type.
Children react.
Okay. another of these children
dot React Node.
Dot React Node.
Like that.
Like that sounds totally logical. Not. Constant auth layout equals these two brackets. Then we have the children. Then we close this thingy here. Then we have that. Then we open that. Then we have children equals React node. Then we close this. Then we have these two brackets equals this bracket. Return this thingy. Closed. Okay, it seems correct, even though this one, he has this in a different color. But I think React node, it looks the same.
And inside, I'm going to write.
Okay, and inside here comes a div. And within the div,
and I'm going to render children is.
And then here comes the children.
Right. And now our error has gone away.
If we had an error, I didn't even see the error. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure if this is correct, to be honest. It's weird colors. But it's constant children. So we need to say constant auth layout equals these two brackets. Then we have children. Then we have this bracket. Then we have children dot double React dot React node thingy. Then we have this and this. Then we have this error. Then we have this bracket here. Then we have, the return, but this doesn't work. Return this. Then we have div children div. Then we close this here with these brackets. We close it here, export default auth layout, and then we need this.
And all we have to do to temper it is class name.
Okay. Class name equals
items dash center
flex items center
justify center like that, and you can give it an h dash full as well.
H dot full.
Now you can see it's nicely.
Okay, file, save. Okay, it doesn't make any difference because we had this in the middle anyways already, but okay.
In the middle, beautiful. So this now works for both sign in and for sign up, because we have added a common layout file which is going to affect all of the routes inside. We're going to do a similar thing in the dashboard. So that's why I separated this in a folder called routes. So there's a very clear distinction that the routes are only inside of this folder and this layout thing is inside this main group folder right here. Perfect. So let's go ahead. And I want to go to the landing page, right?
Okay, now we go to the landing page apparently.
And I want to show you how to add a button which is actually going to redirect to our authentication. So let's go ahead and just...
Okay, so now what you want to do in this landing page is he wants to add a button that is then going to the sign up page, I think, or sign in page. One of these two pages. But what we should have, let's quickly go back here. If we have localhost sign in, we end up here. And if we have localhost sign up, we also end up here. That's nice. Perfect. So it's basically exactly the same thing, but it says sign in or no account sign up. And if we click on sign up, then it looks a bit different. We give an email address and we give a password. If we click sign in, we just give an email address and we can continue. So that's really nice. And probably we can also play around with the colors, but for now we just leave it as it is. Now we are in this landing page.
So that I want to add another div, and I'm going to...
Okay, so we have one div and it wants us to add another div. I don't really know.
Add a button.
No, it says div. Oh, and then it added another div, which seems like there's a mistake, but whatever. So we just go here, div, and then we add a button.
Like that. And there's a couple of ways.
Oh, that's really weird how he did that. Because he says I close the div here and I open a button here, and then I have like a div which is closing twice, which I think is a mistake. So we just leave it as is here.
You can do this. So I'm going to go ahead. Write login, for example.
Okay, now he wants login.
Here, and I'm going to wrap this in a...
And above that is a link
from next/link. This.
Okay, so now he wants the link, but he puts the link in big, so maybe we have to do this as well. So we put this large link and we close this large link here as well.
And I'm gonna...
And then we put this like this. I don't get it, but whatever.
href
slash and then probably login.
sign-in.
Oh no, we have sign in.
This. So now when I click here, you can see.
Okay, now I see what we are missing here. So it doesn't find it. So basically we need to say import and then button from, and then we put this here in these quotes at and then components .ui .button, and we say import link from next link like this. This needs to be a parent element, but there is a parent element. Let's see.
That I am on the sign.
Okay, file, save. That's what kind of page? That's the landing. So let's go back to HTTPS. Is it not doing? HTT. Oh. Okay. I don't know what kind of problems it has. Okay, let's put this in here. I have this in a page.tsx file in Visual Studio Code and get an error message at the first div line saying JSX expressions must have one parent element. What is wrong here? Because I don't know, because it looks identical the same for him, at least I have to check that again. Import button from this open at /component/UI/button. Import link from next link. Constant landing page. Const landing page equals return this, and then we close this over here, we close this over here with that one, and then we have a div opening, landing page unprotected, div closing, then we have a link href equals maybe we just try this command shift enter, maybe not that way, command shift R. No, that's not correct. What was it? Nicht reloading, sondern okay, let's see. The error in your code occurs because JSX requires that a single return statement in a component must be wrapped in a single parent element. But there is a parent element. Okay. Okay, it looks actually exactly copy code. We just do this. And we do file save. So is this so much different now? Div closing. Okay, div opening. This opening, we do it again. There's a mistake, I found this, okay. Div opening landing page. Then div opening. We're not ready yet. Div opening. Then we have the link, which apparently we put here. Link href sign up. Then we have the button. What? No. We call this login. Okay, now I get the point. That's the problem. That's so annoying. And inside here we put login. Then we have the link closing. Then we have one div closing. And then we have another div closing. Okay, now we have it correct. Save. Now let's go back to our app. PS. Or is this not correct? Okay, let's see in the terminal here. HTTP, it's not HTTPS, okay. Okay, now we have here the login button, and if I click here, then I end up at the sign up in. Okay, perfect.
Page. Great. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna copy this entire thing like that.
Okay, now we copy the link.
And I'm gonna change this to sign that.
Okay. So he puts exactly the same thing again in here. Link, and he puts sign up probably.
Up, and this is going to be register.
And we call this register.
Great, so now we have the
Now file, save. Perfect.
login and the register. So once I click login, you can see I'm in sign in. When I click register, you can see that I'm in the register. Beautiful. And one more cool thing I want to show you while we're already here is that you can play around and customize stuff as much as you want inside of your Clerk. For example, click on
Okay, so now let's go back to Clerk. It gives us some ideas here. Customization.
customization right here. Go and check out the branding. So you can see that once I click here, it says sign in to continue to AI SaaS. But we said that our name is going to be called Genius. So let's go ahead and
We called it Great AI, right? So let's call it Great AI.
Genius and just click apply changes. And now, once I go back and change it here, you can see that it says to continue to Genius, the name of our application. That's how easy it is to work with the Clerk.
That's actually quite cool. So that's how we can do this then again. So I can add the Clerk thingy in there.
And you can play around and change whatever you want. You can look at these hosted pages if you want to. You can change the color. A bunch of stuff. You can play around with it as much as you want. But now let's go ahead and let's actually show you how it looks when we log in. So I'm going to click.
Okay, so now it wants us to share how it looks when we log in. That's where's our app here. I know we said like not high HTTP, but HTTP. Log in.
Log in right here. I'm going to use Google. And since I have only one,
I just use this here.
account, I'm immediately going to get redirected to the dashboard page. So this is now fully working. We are officially logged in. That's how easy it was to use Clerk. And let me show you.
Not sure if I get like an answer for that one because I now just put in the error pieces here. Okay. Okay, we need to resolve this issue because it can't just stay at the sign up because it needs to go to, you know, like in our app. It needs to go back. So we signed up here. Maybe this helps as well. Okay. Okay, and it says that sometimes Next.js needs a fresh start to recognize changes in the page structure. We can also say, okay, thanks. Now I did it again and got the following answer. Okay. Maybe we just do this restart of development server. So what we will be doing here is we break this up and then we say file save and then we say what's called again. npm 1dev. So let's npm 1dev. So still working. Localhost. So this should all work fine because there's nothing we changed. Loads a bit, takes a bit of time, at least at my computer. So that's interesting. It basically destroys all the design from the pages. So not sure what's going on there, but let's go to login. Okay, so it gets an error already here. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so it says the error message you're encountering is not a React component, indicates that there's an issue with the way a page is exported in your Next.js application. Specifically, Next.js expects each page in the pages directory to export a React component as the default export, but it seems that the file at pages sign in is not doing this correctly. Here's how you can resolve this issue. Check the file and export. Open the file at pages.signin. Okay. I'm not sure where to put this in. Yeah, because we don't have pages, right? So it's not doing anything of this anymore. The component should be expected as the default export of the file. For example, let's go back to sign-in page. Return sign in. Okay. Make sure your file is structured correctly as a React component. It should have a function or class that returns JSX and is exported as default. Check for syntax naming. Ensure that the file name follows the correct naming convention. Okay. Okay. Okay, then it says the error message issue related to authorization. This typically happens when an API call or request to a server-side resource is made without proper authentication or with incorrect credentials. Here's how you can approach solving this issue. Ensure that you're using the correct API keys, tokens, or credentials. If your project involves accessing an API or a server that requires authentication, you will need to provide valid credentials. Double check if the credentials are correctly set in your request or in your environment variables. If you're using a service that requires user authentication, make sure the implementation is correct and that the user is properly authenticated before making the request. Okay. Inspect network, Clerk. The Clerk trace ID in your error message suggests you might be using Clerk for authentication or user. Review the setup process for Clerk, ensuring that your application is correctly configured. Okay, it does not work. Now I also get in the terminal the following error code. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Check the component structure, open the file at pages. The component, the file for the component structure is app of roots sign in TSX. We probably have to do this that way. Okay, what we see is that this is not exactly the same. It's like this constant structure compared to the other structure. But we kind of have this like sign up page, I mean, is from Clerk, so we don't necessarily want to change anything here. So let's just put this in here when this is ready. Okay, we just enter the code here. Okay, I think we have installed Clerk Next.js already. But let's just do this because maybe so we do, was it again? Okay, I forgot how to stop this. Oh, again. Can I stop the terminal from running? Okay, Control C. And now let's run this thingy here for the, I think we installed this, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think we installed this. Okay, this all worked fine. Then we do npm, was it again, dev, run dev, not sure. Was this correct or not? Yeah, apparently it is. So in the environment setup, we have the keys. We have sign in, sign up, the dashboard. We have these issues here. Oh, maybe we have a mistake here. Save. Let's do this again. Maybe this was the issue. Let's do the localhost again. This looks better. Again, login. Again. The default export is not a React component in the page. function. Okay, I really don't know, and I'm really getting tired. So we will stop here and then figure this out tomorrow or on the weekend. With that, let's finish the work. Let's finish the working on it. We ended up at, how do you say this? The timing 38 minutes and 32 seconds. We finished from the tutorial, which is in total 5 hours and 33 minutes and 29 seconds long. So we need way longer than these time 3 times to get this app developed. But if we take a week in the end and are able after a week or maybe 1.5 weeks to basically build a whole app, an AI app, I think that's fine. But let's first finish how we, or basically try to debug how we get this error solved, because at the beginning it worked, right? So the question is, why is it not working anymore? But we will figure this out in the next video. Stay tuned and see you soon.